explain the importance of pointer. This example will swap two numbers stored in two variables. These are two variables and two values are stored in these variables. The 6 which was stored in B is now stored in A, and 5 which was stored in A will now be stored in B. So let us start with main function. We need two variables A and B. 5 is stored in A and 6 is stored in B. I am calling a function in which I am passing these two values, and I expect that after execution of this function the values will be swapped. Now let us print these two values. Now let us write the definition of swap function. Because we are passing two variables, we require two integer variables here to store these values. To swap these two values, we will require a third variable using which we will be swapping these two values. And these are the statements: t equal to A equal to B, B equal to T. Now let us explain the program. Suppose this is the memory area in which the variables of main function are declared. One variable, one memory location is A, another memory location is B, 5 is stored in A and 6 is stored in B. Similarly, this is the memory area for swap function. Here we have three variables A, B and T. When control comes to this point, it calls swap function and it passes two values A and B. These values are stored in these arguments. So this 5 will be stored here and 6 will be stored here, and after that this statement will store the value of A into T, the value of A into T. This statement will store the value of B into A. This B will be stored in A, so this will say 5. The value of T will be stored in B. This value will be stored in B, 5. When control comes back to the main function, this print statement will print the values of A and B. You can see that the values are swapped in this area only. When control comes back to the main function, this memory area becomes active and the values stored in these variables will be printed. In the place of A, it will print 5, and for B, it will print 6. So you can see that values are not swapped. Now let us modify this program by using pointers. Let us take same example. Int A, int B, A equal to 5, B equal to 6, calling the swap function. This time, instead of passing the values of A and B, let us pass address of A and address of B. After the call of function, we will expect that the values are swapped. So let us print the values. Let us write the definition of swap function. Because we are passing addresses here, we need pointer variables in the argument list. Because these are pointer variables, they are capable to store addresses. Here also we will require third variable t. T equal to star p1. star P1 equal to star P2, star P2 equal to T. Now suppose this is the memory area. Variable A 5 is stored here, variable B 6 is stored here. This is the address of A, and this is the address of B, and this is the area for swap function. A pointer variable P1, a pointer variable P2, an integer variable T. These addresses will be stored in P1 and P2. So instead of these values in P1, this address will be stored AA1001, and in P2 the address of P2 will be stored. Star P1 will refer to a value which is being pointed by P1. So P1 is storing address of A. So actually P1 is referring this A variable. So it is referring to, P1 is referring to A and P2 is referring to B. So star P1 is referring to A. So the value of A means 5 will be stored in T. Similarly, star P2 is referring to B and star P1 is referring to A. So the content of this B will be stored in P1 means in A. Let us consider this statement. Star P2 is referring B and star P1 is referring A. So the value of B will be stored in A by this statement. So this 6 will be stored in A. And what about this statement? T means 5. This 5 will be stored in the variable which is being pointed by P2. So B is being pointed by P2. So 5 will be stored in B. After this function, control comes back to the main function and print statement will print the value of A and the value of B, which are 6 and 5. So this way we can see that pointer can help us in accessing memory.